Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I've got two replays to show you in the British Tier 10 heavy tank, the Chieftain Mk. Now the British heavy line at the moment, there's an on-track event for the heavy tank line, so you can earn the FV215B, the Super Conqueror and the Chieftain Mk all off of one line. And currently you can earn it for discounted silver values as well as XP values. So I've got two replays in the Chieftain today, which is my favourite out of the heavy tanks. All three of them are very, very good tanks in their own right. I just think the Chieftain out of the three is probably the best one because it's mobile for a heavy tank. It's got fantastic gun with fantastic accuracy, fantastic DPM, and it can go hold down with its amazing turret and 10 degrees of gun depression. So this is a really, really capable British tier 10 heavy tank. And I've got the two replays to show you today. So I'm just going to stop rambling and get on with the replays. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then on Sidgefield line. Now we are platooned up with Swindle 321, who is a fellow pleb and a fellow friend. And I chose to use this replay because I have a decent game, but not the biggest game I've had in a Chieftain, but more so because it's quite a good element of teamwork between us, and I wanted to show that. Now you'll notice, if you see my equipment on the bottom of the screen, I do run the powertrain on this Chieftain because I think it makes a good difference to the mobility, and you don't need to run stabs because the gun is already fantastically accurate. Now, looking at the matchmaking, there's a lot of tank destroyers and only a few heavies, one artillery and no light tanks. So this is why I'm playing incredibly actually aggressive on this Sidgefield line, in a position I wouldn't necessarily do if there was a light tank in the game and not all these tank destroyers, because if there's light tanks they're probably going to go down the field area, and the position just where I am right now is not going to work. But this was an educated gamble based on the fact that I saw the matchmaking was unbalanced of all those tank destroyers, which is because there's currently an op to earn a tank destroyer and it forces you to pay TDs, which is why the matchmaking is like this at this time. But this is why I'm making this decision making. So I'm pushing down this line, and the ultimate goal is to try and get on their ridge and spot all their tank destroyers in their base. If that then gives, it's a good because I can go hold down here, as you can see, use my 10 degrees of gun depression and get shots in. Although that was kind of a poor shot on my behalf there into that enemy tank destroyer. Got to be careful, there is TDs to my left. I've swapped to the small mini map so I can see the, exactly where the tanks are. But what I want to do now is get on this ridge here, and where my tank, if you can see down the 1-2 line, and Swindle is making his way in his grill. I've kind of told him to get down to that sort of 1-2 line. I will spot these tanks and force them to try and deal with me. By doing so, they're going to get shot. As you can see there, pick up a bit of assistance. All these tanks will get shot by our friendly TDs on the left, and I have these covering spots here. So that's the plan right now, is to try and use that. Now, like I say, I wouldn't have necessarily done this, but I saw the matchmaking was unbalanced. And that was my kind of mindset in this decision making. So we get a nice shot into that enemy SU, and then straight away get slapped by our teammate grill, Swindle 321 in the grill, and we pick up 1,000 assistance, and a tank gets taken out of the game. We are losing this game right now. We are a few tanks down. I'm not massively concerned straight away. Because it's still early doors, but I unfortunately then get hit by the Iron Rain, which is not ideal, and he manages to put 2 shots into me without taking the damage in return. So that's not fantastic for us. We're now down to 1,000 hit points. Means we could get one shot by a Tyrann or something if they were lucky, and I would much prefer to have kept them hit points. But I was trying to use this ridge to keep these tanks spotted. Enemy Udes is now able to use his gun depression to get shots into me, and I'm not comfortable where I am right now, and I want to try and move back and get to a safer position. So I'm trying to move back, and as I do so, he puts a second shot at me, which puts me on a 1 shot, and we're now losing this game 9 versus 14. So not a great start. I kind of maybe a little bit aggressively there, and I kind of threw some hit points. Hoping that those tanks wouldn't peek because I had the cover of my friendly tank destroyers, but that was not ideal. But we're still in the game, and we're not going to give this one up too easily. It's now 7 versus 14 at that point. Pick up a little bit more assistance by Swindle killing that J-Panther there. And I'm just doing all I can to try my best to get shots into these tanks while I've got cover of my TDs, and just do as much as I possibly can. Enemy Sturv gets detected. Again, if he keeps coming up, he will get shot by my TDs. The UDES is the one I want to take out, and now that's helped out a lot, taking out that UDES 16, because by doing so, he's not going to be able to overpeak me on that position anymore. We're now in a 6 versus 11. This enemy Sturv gets taken out. We pick up a bit more assistance. We didn't take all the assistance there. I'm guessing he was maybe the first shot come from the TD, and it was also in his view range, so we didn't actually get the assistance there. We do take out the Sturm Tiger though, picking up our secondary kill, putting us into 3,000 damage, 2,400 damage. Still a one shot, which we have been for pretty much most of this game, and we've evened up the scores somewhat. It's now 5 versus 8, so it's definitely winnable this. And I only now have Swindle, who is my platoon mate, is the only tank which is covering me. But I'm confident if they do peak, that Swindle's going to be able to shoot them. And with that 750 alpha of the grill and the decent reload, it should be some decent support, to prevent these enemy tanks just leaning on top of me. But I've got to be a little bit careful. I'm going to try and get a shot into this enemy tank destroyer there. But we spot this enemy Type 4 heavy tank. Now, I don't know what gun he's running at the moment, but I don't particularly want to get derped by the Type 4. I have got the advantage where I can use my gun depression and his ridge to get the shots into him. But I'm just trying to find that position, because right now that's not a good place to poke. I mean, that Type 4 could derp me. It doesn't have to pen and will end my game. And we need to try our best to keep ourselves in the game. So I'm going to try and use this bunk here on my left to kind of prevent the Type 4 from having a shot into me while I'm trying to find a way to deal with this enemy Iron Rain. That's a tank which I want to get rid of, because he's on a one shot. He's also going to be incredibly difficult for spot, and he could sneak up on me and get those shots in. If I can take out this Iron Rain, I can probably try and start dealing with this Type 4. I'd like to whittle away the hit points of the Type 4, and basically so that when he peaks me, if I can put him onto a one shot to Swindle, then he won't be able to just roll over and take me out. We get a shot into that enemy tank destroyer. We actually bounce a shot off of our turret there, and he gets set on fire. Oh no, so he doesn't get set off. Yeah, he does get taken out, I think, by another tank. But then we pick up a little bit more damage. Oh, so he doesn't get taken out, so we leave him on a one shot. But now we should be able to take out that enemy tank destroyer, which puts us back into a 3 versus 4 now. We are farming the full health Type 4. You can see the DPM on this Chieftain is just fantastic. When this gun is slinging, you can pick up damage in a very short space of time, because it just has this beautiful, accurate gun. So we're now on about 5,000 damage and 3,000 assistance. Getting another shot into Type. We're kind of playing a little bit risky to hope he doesn't just derp spot our turret there, but we are also under pressure. I want to kill this Type 4 as quickly as I can so I can deal with the rest of the tanks who are starting to head towards our base. We're now in a 2 versus 4, but we take out the Type 4, which puts it into a 2 versus 3, and it's just me and my platoon mate Swindle now, who's done a very good job of, let's say, covering us from that position, and he's also having a really he's having a decent game. So we're now on about 6,000 damage and 3,000 assistance with 4 kills. Now there's an enemy Ruthless alive, which is again not great because it can just splash us with a HE round or a HESH round, and he'll be able to kill us, and he doesn't actually have to pen us. If he's firing the HE and the HESH and not the AP rounds, he won't have to pen us, and that is a bit of a problem. I'd also 2 more tanks. I think the other tank is a Sturm and the heavy is a tier 8 Soviet heavy. I'm not exactly sure which heavy tank that is at the moment, but I think it is a tier 8 Soviet heavy tank. Doesn't look like the enemy team are going to go in the cap circle like I thought they would. I was kind of moving back this way because I thought they might cap out. The Ruthless is a bit of a problem for me because I don't want to get derped by, splashed. I don't want him to sneak up on me because he's got too many hit points. If he gets close, he's just going to splash me, and that's going to be over. So I need to try my best to stay in a position where Swindle can still cover me. At the moment, we're not under pressure for having to get cap resets, so we do have a bit of time. We've still got almost 6 minutes on the clock. This map's not humongous, so we can get back for resets. I'm not overly concerned about that. I'm just trying to find information where they are. Now we do spot this Jag Tiger, so that was the second tank, not a Sturm, it was a Jag Tiger, who is on a one-shot to us. So I'm looking to see if we can find an angle to take out this tank. If I can take out this one tank when it's isolated, it'd be great. But we do spot an enemy Soviet heavy tank now to our left as well, which is a problem, and the enemy tank destroyer to our right. Now the Soviet heavy tank is a one-shot, and the JPAV is also a one-shot to us. I wanted to try and take out one of them before they both get to the same position, because then it means it's a little bit awkward. I've got two tanks looking at us. Obviously right now the enemy team will win if we don't kill a tank, but if I can kill one of them, which I'm looking to try and get a shot into that J-Pamp, I can't quite finish it off. But then I'm worried that the Soviet heavy is going to come up on that ridge, which he does, looking for a shot in. Thankfully I actually managed to bounce that shot, otherwise that could have been not fantastic. That would have left Swindle in a 1 versus 3, which I'm trying to avoid. I just need to take out one of these two tanks. So again, that also is in the back of my mind about the enemy other tank destroyer. Now I tried to get a shot into J-Pamp, and as I did that, the enemy heavy tank did the right thing and poked and took us out. And now it's good because that's left Swindle in a 3-2-1. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just leave this game running with Swindle playing, because he does end up doing a good job at, and I won't spoil it. I'm just going to put a little bit of music on, and you can see if can Swindle win the 2 versus 1 in his grill. Okay, so there we have it. Big Swindle did manage to get us the win in the end, and we both end up having a good game. I think I get about 6,000, 3,000 assistance, and the ace tanker. Swindle also has a really nice game in his grid as well, there with 5 kills and 5,000 damage as well. But that is it for replay number 1, but we still got one more replay to come, so let me stop boring you and move on to the second replay. Okay then, so here we are for the second and final replay, and we are on steps here. and there's one enemy artillery and one enemy light tank. Now, initially, we're going to try and play the left-hand side of the map. You know, we can play that. Play sets in a lot of positions because there's a lot of places to use ridge lines and go hold down, and that's really where the Chieftain excels. Is with that sort of ridge line play. Now, unfortunately, we've had kind of a bit of a coming together with our friendly Chieftain here, which is a bit unfortunate. Slows us down a little bit, but not to worry. We're going to try and push forward and see if we can get any shots in. So some tanks have got spotted quite early doors. We pick up a little bit of resistance here, looking to try and get any shots in, any tanks across and get a nice shot there into that enemy medium. I'd like to put a secondary shot in if I could. Unfortunately, just turns at the wrong moment for us, and we end up shooting this driver and tracking him in place. But that does at least keep him there for us, so we'll pick up our first kill of the game. And we get off to a decent start with one kill, about 600 damage, and picking up a little bit of assistance as well. But I would like to try and move further forward now. I don't really want these tanks, where they are right now. I don't want to escape. I want to try and trap them in this position and try and get as much damage in as possible before they actually cross. Enemy tank destroyer is trying to make the cross. We get one nice shot in there. He gets put down onto about a 2-shot. He's rammed our Chieftain, trying to save our friendly Chieftain there. We put one shot in, put him onto a 1-shot to our friendly Chieftain, who is able to then finish up the kill there. Again, just doing everything I can to help our friendly Chieftain in the low ground by getting shots in. Kind of wasted that shot there. Probably should have just been a bit more patient. But you can see this is a good position to be in a Chieftain with this 10 degrees of gun depression, the fantastic DPM, and I'm able to get into a little fight where they're not even, not alerted to our presence, and we're just able to try and free farm and we can get these shots in. This enemy heavy tank, if he pokes up a little bit more, I can squeeze that into the turret, putting him onto a 1-shot. I guess the biggest fear for me right now is the enemy artillery, but the enemy artillery is not actually focused on us right now, and that's good news for us because that's going to relieve the pressure and mean we only have to deal with the tanks in front of us. We've successfully done a very good job at winning this flank. We actually spotted an E100 in the open. Not a good position to be in your E100, and we've got a position where we can free farm him. There is an friendly enemy E4 who's in, he's as unfortunate kind of trapped where he is. I don't want the E4 to get shot into me. I'm mainly just trying to ignore him, deal with the E100, only using the 10 degrees, my gun depression to its full, trying to only show my turret and be hold down where this tank will be at its best. Now the E100 is dead, it's a 1-shot E4. I'd like to try and take the E4 out without having to lose a shot of penetration to him. Thankfully we did that, putting us onto 4,000 damage, 2 kills, 1,300 assistance, and you can see how quickly you can pick up damage in a Chieftain when it is possible to. Now, one thing I should say, I'm running 14 test rounds. That is just a mistake. That's where I play Chieftain in the competitive games, where I might need a few test rounds to do some HE damage. I don't normally take 14. That is literally just I've not changed my loadout. But we push in, we try and get a shot into this light tank, which we do. Should be able to finish him off here, and we do manage to finish him off. And so far, we've still got all our hit points, 5,000 damage, 4 kills, and there's 6 tanks remaining. And we are pushing aggressively because this game is going to come to an end quickly, and we want to try and get as much damage out of this game. We swap to the mini map again. I always flip between swapping between the big map and the little map when the situation occurs. Enemy artillery there. Now this is it would be a good time for me to swap to my HESH rounds, because you have 140 HESH rounds, penetration on your HESH rounds and your HE rounds, which gives you 515 alpha. So I could pen the artillery with that, which would have boosted my DPM. Maybe I should have done so. I'm on 6,000 damage now, trying to sneak one into the T30. Get a bit unfortunate that bounces there, which is a shame. But I'm just pushing to where the nearest amount of damage is right now, just trying to think that this game's done. But I get caught out by a Whoppy 100. But thankfully he's bounced 2 shots that could no longer kill us. He's on reload right now, so I'm just kind of ignoring him, just trying to get to the hit points. But the hit points just got obliterated by an E4. and I can't pick up any more damage off of that tank, which is a shame. So we'd like to have got one more shot of damage and put us over the 7,000 mark. But again, a very, very quick replay. But I wanted to use this replay because I did, you know, the Ace, the second place tank Ace, also had a good game. He's a follower of the YouTube channel, and I wanted to give him a shout out because he's a very nice guy, and we both have a decent game there. So that is it for the video in the Chieftain. Like I say, it's a fantastic tier 10 heavy tank. It's well worth picking up if you haven't already got it. But that is it for the video today. Thank you so much for your amazing support. If you like the video, please remember to like and subscribe because it really does boost and help the channel. But remember, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!